Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Because I can't tell. Okay, well, I'm Rachel Eddington. I'm gluten-free mama from Polson, Montana. I got a buddy here, Steven. He's videotaping everybody on the count of 3. Look at Steven and wave. It's going to go on Facebook. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Say hi, Steven.
Hi, Steven.
All right. Okay, today we are demonstrating. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to hold this for you because that's not
Okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so today I'm going to demonstrate gluten-free pies. Has anybody made normal pies and not had success? Yeah? Has anybody made gluten-free pies and not had success? All right, well, I'm going to teach you how easy gluten-free pies are. So we're going to start today with Mama's Pie Crust Mix. I'm the creator of the blend. I also have Mama's Almond Blend and Coconut Blend. The pie crust is a coconut blend based flour, and we're just going to pour it into the bowl just like that. And it doesn't take very many ingredients. We're going to add shortening, but we're doing it dairy-free. So normally if you were doing it with dairy, you would use shortening, and I recommend the palm shortening from Spectrum because there's no soy in it and it's non-hydrogenated. And so that's a really good shortening to use. And that's what's going to give it the flaky texture. And then if you're using, you can use butter if you're normal dairy, but if you're dairy-free, use Spectrum buttery sticks or any dairy-free butter. You could also use coconut oil, or you can use just all shortening if you don't want like a buttery flavor. So today we're going to use all shortening. And I'm just going to scoop it out. I have it pre-measured, and the recipe is on the back of the bag. I'm just making it easy today because I didn't have any dairy-free butter on hand. All right, then we're going to add an egg white. Now, if you can't have eggs, you can leave the egg white out, add a tablespoon of honey, and what the egg white does is it makes it bind a little bit better, so when you're rolling it out, it's not going to flake. So if you can't have eggs, just use a tablespoon of honey. And we're going to separate the egg. You just break it in half, and then you go back and forth until you have all the egg white out. And we're going to save this for our pumpkin pie mixture. And then we're going to add a half a cup of water. And what I do is I add just a little bit of water at a time, and then I go back because every house has different temperatures. So sometimes you're going to need a little more water, sometimes you're going to need a little less depending on how dry your house is. Then you just take a fork. Now you guys probably use pastry cutters. With gluten-free, you don't want to use a pastry cutter. It's going to get all gummy and gross, and then you're going to be sitting there picking it out between the pastry cutters. So we're just going to take this, and can you guys see from, okay? And we're just going to start pressing it in like this. It's really easy. We're going to do this until it becomes crumbs, like little pea-sized crumbs. While I'm doing this, Lexi's going to throw out a prize. Next time. Has everybody heard about Gluten-Free Mama? All right. You guys can follow me on Facebook. We put recipes on there every day. We put new recipes on the blog. So if you haven't followed me on Facebook yet, be sure to go there. It's Gluten-Free Mama 1 for all social media. So as you can see here, it's starting to get little crumbs. So we're going to add a little bit more water. Now with gluten pie crusts, the more you work it, what happens? You guys know what happens? Starts to shrink up. Well, what's exciting about gluten-free, it doesn't shrink up, and if you mess it up, you just roll it back up into a ball and you start from scratch. And it's like playing with Play-Doh. Who plays with Play-Doh? It's fun. Play-Doh's fun, isn't it? So who says gluten-free can't be fun? We try to make it fun every day. So we're going to add a little bit more. It's pretty hot in here, so we're probably going to need a little bit more water than normal. Okay, so we've got all the ingredients kind of mixed in here, and now comes the fun part. And I've got clean hands. I'm going to add just a little more water just so we have a little more moisture. And now we're going to get our hands dirty. You could use clean hands, or I'm using the gloves just for sanitary reasons. And just get in there, and you're going to just knead it together. And it gets all your aggressions out too. So if you're like stressed out, Go make a pie because you get all your stress out on the pie. Basically, we're just kneading it till all the crumbs are nice and moist, and we're making 2 nice dough balls. Who wants another t-shirt? Should we have another t-shirt out there? Okay, Lexi. Now this is my daughter, Lexi. She's used to be the gluten-free baby. She's the one that has celiac in the family. And when she was 18 months, she got diagnosed. She was very, very sick when she was a little girl. But she says that she's not a baby anymore. So she renamed herself the Mini Mama. Mini Mama. And you can follow Lexi on YouTube. She does cooking lessons for kids on YouTube. All right, so here we got, this is about half my dough ball. And it just looks like a big ball of Play-Doh. See, there's a few crumbs in here, so I'm going to add a little extra water. So you want it to be a little bit moist. If you pull it apart and it's crumbs, you need a little bit more water. And don't be afraid to add more water. A lot of people, if the recipe says it exact, they're like, we'll go to that point. But with pie crust, you can add more water. Now with breads, I wouldn't. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We're going to roll it out. Now you can use a pastry mat, but the easiest way to roll out gluten-free pies is between 2 pieces of wax paper. We're just going to cut off 2 pieces of wax paper about this size. And we're going to spray them lightly with cooking spray. I use canola because it works nicely. And then put your dough ball right in the center. Put your wax paper on top. And then we're just going to roll it out. It's really easy. Just go both directions. Can you guys see from the, let me go more in like that? Okay. Now we're going to roll it out between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. If it's too thick, it's going to be all crust, but if it's too thin, then it's going to fall apart. So you want to try to get it about 1/4 inch. And this table is moving, so it's harder. Between 12 and 3 at my booth, we have several smaller balls of dough. You can come by, it's right back here, and you can practice rolling out your own dough, and you get to take your pie crust home. It's a little higher, so
If you can't see, just come tell me, and we'll move that. You're okay? And if you can't hear, did I just ruin it? Still good.
Okay, so one way you can tell is by touching the top. If you touch the top, you'll notice like if there's any high spots or low spots, and then you can know where to roll. So we got it rolled out. It's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. We're going to gently peel back the top layer. Very simple. You can, if you're making more than one pie crust, the package makes 2 crusts. So save your plastic or your wax paper so you can roll it out again and you don't have to waste any wax paper. And then you're going to take your pan. I'm using just a metal disposable pan so we can send the pie crust home with somebody today. But you can use metal pans, you can use ceramic pans. You can also roll them into little balls and put them into mini muffin tins and press them out and make little miniature pie crust. It's a lot of fun. Or you can use small pie crust pans. The sky's the limit. Now we're just going to pick it up gently and put it in here and let it kind of flow into the edges and press. Now you'll kind of see in the picture there's like a little hole right here, and who's perfectionist out there? You're perfectionist? That might make you panic, okay? So if you don't want to, you can pull it back up, roll it into a ball, and start over, and it's not going to be like the gluten crust that you can't work with. Or you can just mend it because it's like Play-Doh. We can just press it together and nobody will ever know. And just gently pull back the top like so. Okay, so that normally you'd use a knife, but I don't have my knife. And we're going to cut about a 1/2 inch overhang over the top, all the way around, and then we'll make our small repairs. There's a little hole right here. We're just going to take a piece about the same size and we're just going to press it in to about a 1/4 inch thickness. And voila, nobody ever knew that you had a hole in your pie crust. And then we're just going to fold under the edges, go around the top like that. Just come a little thick here. And just kind of press it like kind of in a triangle or a mountain shaped form across the top of the pan. Now, how many, you guys, is there any like master pie crust makers here who can do the fluting really well? There's lots of fun things you can do on the edges. I'm going to show you. All right, even a 5th grader could do this, or a 10-year-old. The 10-year-old's a 5th grade, right? Okay. We're going to take our crumbs like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you some different fluting edges you can do. You can take your fork and you can just press like that. And then you have like a fork edge. You can do the 2 fingers and you can do like a fluting like that so it has like a scalloped edge. If you're not good with the 2-finger look, you can take just your pinky, the side, and you can just kind of go in an angle like that and it's going to give it kind of like a wave pattern. Or show you. This part's kind of fun. I saw this on Pinterest the other day. You take a spoon and you go way in and then just a little bit halfway in. Can you guys see that with the mirror? And it gives it a really pretty decorative edge. You guys see that like that? Or we'll get our wax paper back. Your arm getting tired? All right. And you can roll out the dough about an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch thick again. I've got these little mini pie crusts or mini cookie cutters, and we could do like a leaf or a pumpkin or an apple, and you can go around the edges of your pie and it'll end up looking like that. And that's a lot of fun. And so if you wanted to do your whole crust across the top, you could do little minis, or you could roll out your second crust. For the pumpkin pie, you obviously don't need a topping, but like for an apple pie, you would just roll out your second crust, put it on top, and you can take the little minis and put like 3 pieces in the middle, and then cut your slits. Since we don't have the topping, you can just cut it out like that, and just press it. Now if you hang it over too far when you're pulling it out of the oven, it's going to break. So kind of do it halfway over and just press it in like that and kind of hanging like that. And it's good to do like 2 and then the next pile do sets of 3 and kind of mismatch it. And then you can take if you want to go an extra mile, you can take and make like a little mark to make it look like leaves, and it makes it even look even prettier, but you don't have to do that. And it's really pretty. So there's 4 different ways you can flute your pan.